So I've created this new flower bed and one on the opposite side of the pergola. What I'm going to be doing this morning is starting to prepare the soil ready for new plants to be planted there, and also taking some of the plants from the original bed, moving them into new positions, splitting up the herbaceous perennials and moving them into new positions in the new bed. So this was basically part of the lawn, although not a very nice part of the lawn. It was pretty scruffy and full of weeds. So what I've done is I've put a layer of cardboard down first as a mulch, and then I've got a load of topsoil delivered, and then I've put this layer of topsoil around all over the bed. I've not been particularly impressed with this topsoil actually. It's very clay. It's got a lot of clay in there. You can feel it. I can see it when it raining a lot. It's going to hold a lot of water and really quite soggy. So what I'm going to have to do is amend the soil, put a load of compost down as much as I can for the minute, and then in the autumn time, what I'll do is I'll put a load of more manure down, maybe some seaweed, and then let that work in over the winter. But for now, I've got some compost. I'll see what I can do, and I want to get as much as I can in there to sort of open the soil up. And let it be good for all the different types of plants rather than just cold, wet, claggy clay. When I lived in the UK, I always dreamed of having a big garden. All the different things I could do, a veg patch, flower patches, different rooms. But you forget there are a few downsides of having a large garden. One of them is that if you want to wheelbarrow anything anywhere, like rocks or soil, it's a long way. Although it's good for the fitness. And the other thing is, if you've got the big dreams and you want to be doing lots of different things like new beds, you need a lot of earth and you need a lot of compost. So I've exhausted 1 bin's worth of compost so far this spring. I've got a lot of leaf mould, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a load of compost down here. I'm not going to fork it in. I'm going to let the worms come up, take it down, do their natural thing. I'm going to try this new dig. I'm going to try this no dig. I'm going to try this no dig strategy of not digging, of gardening, and we'll see how that works. So I'm just going to lay the compost down here. Then I'm going to plant the plants, and then I'm going to put another layer of leaf mould as the proper mulch after that. See how it goes. I better get digging. So as much as is possible, I'm going to try and lay an 2 inch thick layer of this mulch all the way across, or this compost all the way across. It's going to act as a mulch, but like I said, the worms are going to come up, going to bring it down, start to work it into the soil, and that will start to add some oomph to the soil and allow it to break up, get rid of that such a clay consistency that it has at the moment. That's the idea anyway. So as I've extended this border out all the way around, where I had the edge of the border plants there before, like the geraniums there, some aqualesia, tulips, etc. I'm going to have to move them forward, but there's some big plants in the middle there that I want to take the opportunity to spread out and split up and use in the new bed. So as I've said, new bed over there, need lots of new plants. One of the good things about having herbaceous perennials is that when you've had them a few years, you can split them up and make, well, probably often if 3 or 4 years you can split them up and make another 3 or 4 plants. So they're always worth their money, the herbaceous perennials. And one of them I've got here is a Shasta daisy. Lovely, great big tall plant with lots of white daisy type flowers towards the end of August, I think, normally. And that's always a good plant to have in the centre of the border. And then you've got that layer, there's a big high plant there, and then layer it down to the geraniums at the front, really. But so I'm going to split this plant up here, and the best way to do it, and you can normally do this in autumn or spring. I like to do this Shasta daisy one in springtime because, like I say, it's growing, it's flowering often quite late into the autumn. So I don't really like splitting up plants too late in the autumn, and then because then they as soon as they get put into the earth, they're sitting in the cold ground. Gets cold quite quickly here in Nova Scotia. So spring is a good time. I can see the actual plant now. All the new growth is coming through. So I'm going to dig all around it and lift it out, and we'll see where we go from there. So all I'm doing is going to dig a nice wide circle all the way around, trying not to disturb the roots as much as is possible, but they're hardy old things, these herbaceous perennials. They'll take a good beating. Let's get rid of that now. Now in this border, instead of having just one clump of the Shasta daisy, I'll be able to have a nice little run through all the way through, and that gives always a better effect than just having the one plant. A nice spread of them in the late summer would be beautiful. Right, so that's basically it dug all the way around. Let's get this beauty out. There she blows. One of the things of having a thick mulch all the way around your flowers in spring is you can't actually often see some of the things that are coming through, so I've got to be very careful. Right, here we go. Right, so I've dug this out, roots and all, nice big clump. All I'm going to do now is to stick me spade in there, not much use, and give it a good push through with this. Right, this is going to call for action here. There we go. You're going to break a few of the leaves, but the majority of the plant is going to survive. I reckon I can do this a good 4 out of this. So I'm going to give this another split, and this actually does the plant good. It will give it renewed vigour, and they'll soon be racing out, and I'll have flowers this year, no worries. Do it that way. I'm going to split this one again. Ah, those lovely black fly are coming out now. I thought I'd got out early enough when it was cold, but it's rapidly warming up today, which I suppose I shouldn't complain about. Right, here we go. One more for luck. Oh, this way. Yeah, from the side or the top, whichever way. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Job is a good one. Right, so I'm no garden designer, I'm no Chelsea expert or anything, but what I thought I'd do is I'd take the curve of the stones, as you can see, which follows the contour of the hill, and follows it round. I'm going to take that sort of contour and just have the daisies coming round in a sort of parallel curve. You see how it looks? From a height perspective, we've obviously got the height of the of where the daisies were growing, so I just need to dig a hole, maybe a touch lower, not too much, and then give them a good watering in. I'll get on with it. Really don't like this soil. You can see it, thick, sticks together too much clay in there. So that's the 1, 2, 3, 4 Shasta daisies now. They'll grow a good 4 foot, 4 or 5 foot. So they're in that little curve, and I've moved these Aquilegia, which I'm not sure if you can actually see, 2 there. I'll give them a good drink now, monitor them over the next few weeks, making sure if there's a lot of sunny weather you give them a good water, and just see how they grow, and I'm sure they'll be fine this year, flowering away. And I've actually created another 2 of the Shasta daisies, and I've planted them around in my secret garden area because they're white flowers, and they'll be good later on in the season. Right, let's give them a water. And then I'll also, once I've got the rest of the flowers in this bed over the next couple of weeks, I'll stick a good leaf mould mulch down to keep the roots nice and cool during the summer months. Missed out that one, better get some more water. Anyway, job's a good one.